the 27th of January 2022, 32.2 degrees Celsius here in Melbourne. Hopefully the noise from my fan isn't too annoying on this video. So I had my first psychology appointment today. I have a fantastic psychologist, so I will note to anyone out there needing one, sometimes you may have to go through quite a few. That's normal. I've seen a fair share of myself, but eventually I believe everyone will find the therapist or the help that they need. So yeah, I'm also going to make a disclaimer. I will be talking about suicide ideation, self-harm, all mental illnesses, stigmas, and things like that. So huge trigger warning before you continue to keep watching. So I obviously told my psychologist what's been going on and where I'm at and about these videos and whatnot. I'm not going to repeat what was talked about in regards to my family, since I think I've done that enough on here, except to say I'm at peace with where I'm at, and that's what's the main takeaway. I guess I contemplated writing notes before doing this. I really did. And then I realized that's just not who I am. It's probably never really going to happen on a continuously, brain's not working. I'm never going to be that person who meticulously takes notes and everything before I make these videos, because that's just not how I work. It doesn't help me, and these videos are for me. So far, I think I have 1 subscriber on YouTube, which is cool. I don't even put tags on these, which I still don't think maybe I should. Anyway, so back to where I'm at. I explained to her what had happened with the neighbour and how I'd called someone out. Now, I don't know if I've even explained that on here. The long and short of it is, someone rode past, grown adult, 2 little kids, adult wasn't wearing a helmet. I pointed out that it would be better to be on his head, not on the handlebars. You know, that's just who I am. That's who I am, and I'm not going to apologise anymore for who I am. What the fuck purpose is having a helmet on your handlebars? Use your brain, people. Like, ugh. So anyway, now I'm not trying to be rude either, because I obviously have a number of issues, as anyone who's seen or read even one of my videos or blogs would know. And that's pretty much what I'm actually going to talk about in this one. I'm just getting there. So I explained to her what had happened and the fact that I'd said this to this man, and obviously didn't think an adult with 2 small children would then literally stop, turn around and hurl abuse and threaten to attack someone. I found the whole thing very amusing, because, like, why are you screaming at a stranger who's just reminding you helmets are good there? But my neighbour got really mad and really freaked out and reacted to the point where that's what set the train, the train in motion, right, to get me to here. So anyway, I had realised I was very alone. You know, I think I was, I would have been talking about it since I've started making these videos, right? That's why I went to my sister's, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I've been studying with Graham, or talking with Graham. He's up with his friend. Now, unfortunately, they stopped along the way to get food and have been hit with COVID. So I am hearing that it sucks. They are both vaccinated, double vaccinated. But yeah, so I won't see him again, obviously, until he's better, which I hope is soon. But he taught me something, or he told me something the last time I saw him that I honestly to God didn't know. So obviously I'm aware of the fact that mental health still has stigma attached to it. I talk about all my mental health illnesses because of the stigma attached to it, because I am absolutely sick to the back teeth of people not seeing me as a person, which I am. What I didn't know, though, was that borderline personality disorder is so stigmatized that there are people who will honestly not even speak to you, get to know you, talk to you, whatever it might be, just simply from knowing you've been diagnosed that. I swear I had no idea. I am not ashamed of the fact that I have borderline personality disorder. I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for bipolar or dissociative disorder or anxiety or complex PTSD or, ADHD. I didn't ask for any of them. Not in a human 3D sense down here on planet Earth. No. I believe my soul did, but that's a whole nother story for a different video. But yes, down here as a whole, mental health, stigmatized, I'm aware of that. Hence, I want to be a storyteller. Hence, I'm very happy to talk to myself, to my camera, put it out on the internet, into the void of people, to whoever will see it and go, my name is Olivia, and I have just been diagnosed with my 8th mental illness. Like, seriously, right? And like, that's not even just it. I've got at least 8 or 9 different physical illnesses too. I was told I'd never work again when I was 26. Thankfully, I'm working my way through doing whatever it takes to help myself. But yeah, the fact that I go to university the way that I do, my doctors are like obviously really happy. But I finally got really good doctors. Now back to today. This is going to be a long one, I think, guys. So I told my psychologist what I had found out about the borderline thing, because it really did throw me. Like, it threw me more than I ever would have thought anyway, because it's not like I hadn't known I've had borderline for like over 10 years, yeah? I mean, and I'm aware that it's different to just a mental health order in the sense that having depression is different to actually, like, my entire personality, according to, like, it's a personality disorder. It's like, it's in the name, people, right? But yeah, no, I didn't know it was that bad. And I mentioned it to my psychologist, and she was like, yeah, no, some, like, clinicians won't take people on if they've got borderline. And I was just like, what? Are you serious? She's like, borderline and ADHD are the top 2 mental health illnesses that people won't take on. And I was like, okay, I need to understand why. Now, we only had like 10 minutes left, and I'd gone through all my stuff and worked on where I needed to go. But this is what I needed to understand, because it was a shock. It was like a holy fuck, oh my god, is that why people all act so fucking weird around me? Like, do you all think I'm gonna go, I don't know what people think. I would love to know what people think, truthfully. Like, I have been told I'm scary before. In fact, I have been told that so many fucking times it's not funny. Not something I'm proud of. Well, I mean, it may have been. I used to think it was super hilarious when I smoked ice, especially when Mr. X would say it to me all the damn time. But again, different story, different day, different video. Back to being borderline. I didn't understand why a doctor, a psychologist, whatever, would do that. And she explained to me that, people that have these conditions are the most complex, most at risk people there are. She said you pretty much have to be specially trained to be able to help these people and to be able to manage your own regulation, because obviously, for those who are not aware, suicide ideation is a huge part of borderline personality disorder. Now, I've explained in videos I have it extremely bad. Obviously, my psychologist is aware of that. So we discussed the whole, I make it impeccably clear to anyone, and everyone for that matter, including all of my doctors, don't ever do something without me being aware of it. Because as soon as somebody calls someone for my mental health, physical health, safety, or whatever it might be, without me being aware of what's going on, absolutely all trust will break with that person like that, and it will never come back. I guess that's a borderline thing. So my therapist explained to me that just like, I've said in my blogs, I worked or volunteered for a year at our national crisis suicide hotline. So I'm aware of how I felt doing a 4-hour shift there and coming home and having it playing on my mind. And obviously, you know, I talk about death with my therapist every single time I talk to her because I live with the thoughts of death every day. I don't know what it's like to be normal. I don't personally think normal exists, but, you know, I'm clearly not your average person. I like that about me. I have realized I like all of who I am because I'm doing the fucking best I can, right? I did not know that people knowing that I have borderline would make people judge me in such a way that they wouldn't be able to speak to me. My friend was openly honest and said, if I hadn't have gotten to know you before I did through the philosophy and psychology classes we take, if I just knew you with a name and you have borderline, that it would have been an instant no. Mind blowing, right? And my therapist says, obviously, we have to know when you're at risk and when you're like I said, suicidation is a part of my everyday life, sort of fun part of my everyday life, but that doesn't make it not part just the same. So obviously I say to people, I have absolutely no interest in acting on any of them, but I'm in therapy on medication and doing all of this for a reason. So, you know, bring it back, Liv. Yeah, so I honestly just found out something massively new. Didn't realize that, like, obviously I know, you know, there's, like I said, when I did the shifts there, I know what it felt like. I assume, like I said to her, that she knows when I say that I'm not putting or have any thoughts to put anything into play, that she can trust me. But then it hit me, oh my God. And I said to her, I was like, this must be like a real catch-22, because it's like I'm saying I have suicidal thoughts every day, but I don't want to act on them. I was like, but you believe both. And then, like, she admitted, because my therapist is amazing. I know some people may consider this wrong, but I am of the opinion, obviously, that therapy works better in a back and forth, right? So, as my doctor told me, it'd be selfish to kill myself because I have to figure out how to help me, because, like, I have to figure out how to help me, God. I have to. That's it. That's what I've got to do. That's literally my life's purpose as far as I'm concerned. And sharing how I go about doing that is a part of that. Because I cannot be the only person who feels like they get treated like they're crazy. Mentally ill people are not crazy. We all really need to drill that in. But yeah, being judged without even having spoken to someone, didn't think that was possible. It does explain a whole lot, though. I mean, in my head, I'm just me. Like we all are, right? I don't know what it feels like to be somebody other than me. So, yeah, I did ask her something that I've been really struggling with to get my head around, and she was able to give me a different perspective on, and that was, how are people who have actually had someone extremely close to them, say a parent, a sibling, or a child, who have killed themselves, then able to not learn a thing about it? And like, I immediately would, like, if I put myself in that situation, I don't need to put myself in that situation. I've been in that situation a number of times. The person that's known the person that's killed himself, right? To me, that brings more compassion out of you, right? Like, oh my God, how can you not see how fucking broken this world is, yeah? But to other people, and this is where I've been getting real stuck lately, it doesn't bring out a nicer, better, more compassionate, more empathetic person of them. It brings out a darker, harder, more critical, more fuck you person. And I cannot, I haven't been able to get my head around it. So I asked my therapist about it today. And she explained that those people who go that way are going that way because they are just so unable to accept what has happened, make peace at what had happened. They're so angry at so many things that if they have someone else in their life that reminds them of the person that died, so say mental illnesses, similar situations, things happening, it's easier to attack that person than it is to see that person through what they're actually going through. So I'm very happy that I can now finally see this perspective, like that I just haven't been able to get my head around. And it's happened a couple of times in my life. And the people it's happened with, I'm just like, again, thankfully my therapist is specially trained in borderline. She helped me by explaining, what she's been through as a clinician with borderline people. Obviously, she's very generic, just like I am when I talk. We're all following guidelines and rules, right? But, yeah, I guess, like, it hit me, like, in the moment I was emotional. I was emotional because, the neighbour was literally the only person I was talking to in person, and the only person I have seen in person. Well, I saw Graham, whenever that was, last week, a week ago today. Now, I won't be seeing him again until whenever, because, poor guy's not well. The only other people I see in person are the people that bring me my groceries to my boot, and the pharmacist who gives me my script. And that's it. Therapist says I'm lonely, which I'm finding really hard to get my head around, because it's like I don't actually feel like I'm lonely, but I feel very alone. Which kind of sounds like the same thing, but in my mind it isn't. Like, I'm not lonely, I have boss, whatever, but I guess I'm going, yeah, let's face it, obviously we need, as my therapist says, we're social creatures, we need human interaction and human contact and whatever it is, and, it's understandable that that's where I'm at. Helps that I can just be my full, complete, utter self now, because like I said to her, obviously I believe everything happens for a reason. There are like big tattoos written like all over me, and my, my back is what I was kind of implicating there. If you once, it's huge. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up because I can now hear that I'm rambling, but I just wanted my video done. I wanted to share what I've learned. I was able to clean Sebastian's water tank this morning, for anyone that saw my 40-second video of Sebastian this morning. Please, to anyone out there who is suffering or needing help, needing support, please reach out to people, okay? There are people here who care. I care, okay? I live by myself with my dog and my snake in Melbourne, Australia. I'm a 36-year-old woman and my name's Olivia, and I give a fuck. In fact, I so give a fuck that I'm at university figuring out everything I can to figure out how to help me so that then maybe I can help somebody else. Because if I can help one soul not live in the darkness that I have had to experience in my life, it'll be 1,000% worth it. It's worth everything I've gone through. Please reach out to somebody. Whether it's a hotline, a friend, a family member, whoever it might be. I need you to know you're loved and worthy and wanted. As always, sending light and love to all of you.